All right, you like the intro or what?
Yeah. It's awesome. It's so fun.
I always get out of it. Anyways, welcome everyone to SVK. We have a great show lined up today, and it's really, I called it a pre-show, pre-show, I think it was called. I looked up what you're supposed to say about talking about shows you're going to do in the fall. They're called preview, pre-show. So I'm excited today to share with everyone and to really do some more work with Melanie and stuff and Chef Liana. So first of all, I want to welcome you both to today's show and to really, talk a little bit about women in food service and also what we're going to do this fall with Melanie and Chef Liana really around bringing more awareness to women in food. And I'm excited about this. So thank you for both joining today. And thanks, Mel, for sending in these great questions about here in a minute.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
Thanks,
it is
Jay.
exciting.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about where do we want to start. We could talk. I want to talk a little bit about women in food service first of all because I don't think there's enough. And do you see this, Chef Liana, right now? Is there enough women in food service? And I know you're going to say there's going to be more, but do you think there is enough right now, or what do we do to get more in here?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't think there's ever been enough women in food service. Thinking about going back to like 100 million years ago when I just started off in food service, I remember I started off at NAIT, and honestly, in my class, I was one of 3 women in my class. And now I could say there is more women going to school, and there is more women in the kitchens, but are they staying in the kitchens? And that's really something that I think that really needs to be really looked at, is like, why aren't women staying in those kitchens? And more so, why aren't women in those predominant leadership roles in management and beyond? So that's the real serious question I think that we should talk about. And I think that's why a show like this is really giving a good platform and a good safe space to really honestly and authentically discuss with a lot of cross-section of women.
Yeah, Mel, first of all, thank you again for really spearheading this conversation on and talking more about this, because we need to talk more about this stuff, and we need more women in food service. And I do a lot of different, I work with a lot of different companies out there, really, trying to figure out where this all started. But it goes back, I think, when we really saw the Brigade System and the model of, the guy chef in, the man in this kitchen and that, and that whole, Chef Liana knows this, right? Like that whole throw shit at you and be mad and cranky and, just down talk chefs, no matter if it's a woman or a man. I think that's what this whole dominant male kitchen world became. And needs to be fixed. It's my mind, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think we need to see more women involved. But Mel, what do you think about this?
It's funny. I was actually talking to Liana a little while ago, and I was thinking back to I had a conversation with my daughter because she knew that I have a passion for cooking, and I had started off when I was much younger working as food prep in a restaurant in Kenora, Ontario. And it's so crazy when I think back to what sort of I accepted 30 years ago to what I would never accept today. And I would challenge leadership in different things when we see genderism. But, I look back to an example where I was working in this kitchen and I was food prep, and 2 weeks into the job, the chef actually left and went to another restaurant. And I started doing cooking everything on the menu. I sort of messed up the cheesecake a couple times, but other than that, I was acing everything on the menu. And it never crossed my mind, to think about, hey, I should apply for the chef job, or I should ask for a promotion. And the reason why I'm talking about this, because Liana talks about why aren't there more women that are GMs of restaurants or chefs in restaurants? And I don't think it has anything to do with confidence. It just has a lot to do with being comfortable as women to raise our hands and say, hey, I want to apply for the GM posting in that restaurant, or I want to be the chef in the restaurant I'm working at. And so I think it's for women, when we look back at, are we doing a really good job in self-promoting and articulating the things we're really great at that our male peers are equally great at. And I think that's like the biggest thing is getting out there and talking to women that want to step into leadership roles or want to own their own restaurant, is sharing with them that it's not so much that we're not comfortable, or sorry, that we're not confident. It's just we have to get comfortable about talking about our achievements and what we're really great at, because men do such a good job at that, Jay. Like I listen to my husband and he's always, talking about the different things that he and his teams accomplished. And I think women tend to shy away a little bit more from that because we see that as bragging. And so we just have to get a little bit better at doing that. And it's not about being confident, it's just getting comfortable. I don't know if that makes any sense with you, Liana. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I would say that we're very more self-preserved, but also there's a lot of more aggression in that kind of bro culture too in kitchens, at least in my past experiences. And I would like to say that moving forward, there has been a lot of change in movement in changing up those kitchen cultures. But I mean, they do still exist, but that has a part of it too. So are the doors opening, or if they are, they're very, very slowly opening, because if you look at it, I had the great fortune of doing a teaching contract last year at SAIT, and I mean, just looking at how many female instructors there actually were teaching in cooking, not many, and how many actually female in those leadership roles in administration, very, very limited as well. So where are those leadership roles? I don't know. Are they not comfortable to apply, or are they not being hired? I don't know. So
no, it's a really good point. I think how do we fix? No, I would say fix. I don't like the word fix. It sounds like it's broken. But
yeah,
I think I don't know what the word is, but
it's largely in my, and I don't know if I should say this or not, but I would largely say sometimes it's, I don't know, it's more people are, I don't hate myself for saying this, but sometimes it's, it's easier to like, oh, I'll just hire him over that because you have that bias of like, well, she's going to go on maternity leave, or she's not going to be strong enough to do that job. Oh, she's going to go through menopause, or she's going to do all those things. And I know that's for a fact because I actually worked for, a chef who I thought was a mentor who actually said those things out loud. So I know those kind of biases are in people subconsciously or straight out conscious.
Yeah, that's such a good point.
I was just going to say awesome comment.
Oh, go ahead.
No.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I can see some of the comments coming in, which is really cool. I didn't know that would happen live. But, one of the things I see, and I see that in every organization I've ever worked at, or when I talk to female colleagues or peers, or even people that reach out to me that I don't know, and they're asking the same question as Liana, is why aren't we seeing more women in leadership or more female GMs in restaurants or female entrepreneurs running their own restaurant? And I do think it goes back to, I think there has to be that, we have to stop that misconception that women don't have the confidence to do those roles. They 100% do. But I try to sort of find, like, I work at home and my husband works at home. So I try to find balance of not listening to his conversations. We're in two different offices, but it's incredible when I listen to when he's coaching his male team versus female team. And when I'm also coaching men and women, and I don't change the way I treat men and women, but something that I know that I have to focus on more with females. And this is for anyone in a leadership role, whether you're the owner of a restaurant or you're a GM. If you have female talent in your business, you need to start nurturing that pipeline. And what I mean by that is, if you have a female that demonstrates leadership skills, you need to start working with that individual to help develop those skill sets and encourage them to apply for the roles. Because the reason why I say that is it's not just a myth or anything, but Harvard Business Review came out last year with a report that actually was so compelling, and it really helps us better understand that it's not that women aren't getting the jobs. It's just that when men look for job postings, they're like, okay, GM of this restaurant. Oh, all right, I meet about 50% of the criteria. I'm going to apply. And usually they end up getting the job. Whereas the female colleague that they work with that has just as much qualifications will look at that job posting and she'll think, well, I don't have 100% of that criteria. I'm not going to bother applying. So I think, there's two things from a leadership perspective. If you see a female in your team, no matter what industry you're in, that have these great skill sets, that are doing a great job, encourage them to apply for those roles. And then as a woman, be aware that your male peers are applying for roles that you're just as qualified for, but what's holding you back is yourself. You're not applying because you think you need to meet 100% of that criteria of the job description, and you don't.
Yeah. I had a really funny thing happen to me quite a few years ago when I worked at a private club. I worked very closely with SATE, and we would take on internships. And because I was a female executive chef, by default, I would say primarily 95% of female students apply for internships, and a small amount of male interns. So this I would hire always based on skill sets, but with the majority of female students applying, the lion's share of those internships would always go to females. I actually at one time had a male student call me out and accuse me of being favoritism towards females. I was like, this is the craziest thing I ever heard. I was like, what? I was like, this is the craziest thing I ever heard. Like, dude, go out there and look at the world.
Do you think some men are like frightened in a way? Like they're scared in a way?
No, I just thought like, well, why don't you just go out and see like what actually is happening? Because this is like what every single female incurs in her life. But anyways, I based on skill set and what the requirements were. But because one male didn't get the job over a female, he felt slighted. I just thought that was shocking. Yeah. But actually took it upon himself to call me out over it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, do you think a lot of these things, these are old traditions that will disappear?
No, well, they have not. The fact that we still have to have platforms for women at this day, no, obviously no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The fact that we have to have, if there's a female dinner, we have to highlight a female dinner. Is there any other dinner that happens to be all men? Do we have to say, there's a male dinner and it's showcasing males? No, we don't. So, no, of course.
It's just, yeah. I love it, Liana. It's just like saying, like I would never refer to you as, oh, this is Liana, a female chef. You're a chef and you're amazing at what you do. And it's just like when somebody refers as a woman in leadership, and it's unfortunate we have to say that and highlight that in every spectrum of diversity and inclusion, because I hope we get to that point in life where we can highlight an athlete, not a female athlete, or highlight a leader, not a female leader, or highlight a chef like yourself, Liana, and not have to say female in front of it. I do think we have lots of work to do, Jay. I'm sure you even see that within your workplace. When we look at how many women are in leadership roles compared to men, and even with entrepreneurs, and because of COVID, we're starting to see more women go into entrepreneurship. And so I think we have to look at, as from your perspective, Jay, and my perspective at TD Bank, is how do we support female entrepreneurs, knowing the different challenges they may have compared to male entrepreneurs, and understanding that research and that data and the mindset. So I think there's so much more we can do. And as a mom of two daughters, I want to make sure that the future is better for them.
Yeah. It's 2022. We thought the future would be here. There's robots taking our foods to the table, but we still have to have a safe space for women to speak our minds.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, I think of my daughter, I think this way, and I apologize if I think wrong, but I always think and try to figure out and go, just do anything you want. Like, just go do what you want. Just get out there. And I don't, and I do this all the time, even different people with different ethnic backgrounds. We don't hear enough of what goes through their minds and the challenges that they see ahead of them. And I don't see them. I'll be honest. I don't see, other than other normal obstacles, But the obstacles that we take so much that we overcome or people see in front of them, a lot of people don't understand that it could be the simplest thing that we take for granted that's so easy for a guy to do. And then we have someone else moving in, especially into this industry. It's incredible. I'm blown away that like we just take it for granted. Oh, just be a chef, not a problem, right?
Yeah.
Well,
It's not hard. Liana, you have so many stories over the years.
Oh God, that's like a
Till tomorrow,
5-hour session right now.
right? But
All those awful, horrible things you read about. Yeah, I've been through that.
true. But it's true, right?
is it PG? Is it PG rated? Like, is it? I'd love to hear a story. I don't know if it's appropriate in this audience, but
But it's not. Okay, first of all, before you get into this one story, I just want to mention this because this is what I love about our SVK network. It's not the food service. It's not the Food Network stuff. That's not reality, is it?
Yeah. That's
Not
crazy.
you don't see on Food Network. Not to beat up Food Network. I'm not here to beat them up. But that's not the reality of our industry.
You know what I love everything about the Food Network and what it does, but what I personally get exhausted about is like everything is based on a competition. You know, it really heightens. And maybe because I'm not a competitive person, so I'm more of a collaborative person. But everything is just pushed to a competition. So
Game show.
I love it. I love it to see if it was more collaborative kind of workspaces to create something instead of cutthroat, competitive.
It was
Wow.
like
die
that.
I
Do you
love
remember
that.
at the
That's
beginning? It was like
Yeah.
that. It was like that at the beginning.
that's
Yeah.
so powerful. That is so powerful, Anna. I'm going to steal that. I'm not a competitive person. I'm a collaborative person. And I think that is actually, when you look at the most high performing businesses and teams, the best teams are actually, they have that collaboration among their team, and leaders in those teams figure out how to hire people that complement their weaknesses. I love that you said that. That is actually, I wrote that down. That's so powerful.
I trust me. I know. I'm a highly creative person, so I have a lot of weaknesses, and I'm lucky because I work with a lot of highly skilled individuals that really complement me, and I've worked with them for a really long time, and we make a solid team, and I'm super fortunate about that.
Do you think there's a difference? I'm just curious from both of your opinions. Do you think there's a difference of a chef running a kitchen, like a male versus a female? Like, do you think there's differences in that then? Like, do you see a difference?
I personally, this is my own, this is not based on any scientific reasoning or fact. It's my own thinking. I personally think women think more round, so that they're thinking circular. So we're very solution orientated. And I think sometimes men think in a square, so they think a thing and they hit a a little edge of the square, so they're like and they go down, and there's another little so they get a little angry, so they get more frustrated. Whereas women think circular, so they're more, oh, okay, here we go, and we're figuring it out, and we're so we're more solution oriented. I think so. We're more nurturing by default, and not all men like this. So I'm not doing a blanket thing. So no comments saying, hey, I've never thought that way, because there's exceptions to all rules, and everyone has their own minds and own auras and everything. But in my working career, I've found those type of individuals. So I think when you talking about Brigade Systems, the first thing I did when I came into position of authority is I really vowed to make it a position change, and I really took that Brigade System out and made it more equal and empowered people to come into their own potentials. So we worked more together.
Yeah, I would say, like, I love that. Jay, you're somebody, I'm going to put a little plug in here because this is a true fact. The first time I met Jay was about 3.5 years ago. I first started working at TD, and I thought to myself, at some point I've got to work with this person on a project of some type. And something that resonated with me when I met Jay is the best leaders I have ever had an opportunity to work with are people that have a high emotional intelligence. And a lot of science shows that women tend to have higher emotional intelligence. So when you see the best leaders out there, that is a trait they all have. And I wondered if in the kitchen, if you see, you know, predominantly more women have a higher emotional intelligence. Jay is one of those ones that are right up there as well. So I didn't know if that was a gender thing you saw in a kitchen.
First of all, wow. And no one's ever said I was intelligent. So no, I think overall, not just in a kitchen, but in a restaurant, the best restaurateurs and let's say and chefs and stuff like that. And I remember the first time I met Liana, she walked down with her team and she introduced me to her whole team. And I don't know if you remember that, Liana, but I do because I helped you with Beverage in your one restaurant, one place you worked. And I was with Chris Prince was with us. Walked down, you brought your whole team, you introduced your whole team to everyone. And it wasn't just you, it was them. And you brought them down to all work and collaborate on what we were going to do with your garbage and your trash. Remember that? I don't even remember that, but that was a long time ago. And that was just like, wow, that's really cool. And then I disappeared for a while, and then I came back, and it's like you're truly, this is the people that I see the success in our industry, are leaders that are changing the industry, but also, to your point, have that higher emotional intelligence, but involve everyone in their decision and lead in today's world. I don't and I meet thousands of restaurants every year. The ones that don't succeed today literally have that old mindset. That old mindset that I'm gonna, you gotta sell more, or you gotta server upsell. Like you're missing the boat, or they downgrade you. They don't inspire. They don't move forward. The people that are killing it right now in the industry have shifted to the new world. I don't know if you call it that, but the new way of leading people. And I think leaders like yourself, Liana, that I remember in the past when I first met you, I was like, wow, I was so excited to be able to see how someone just, because if it wasn't like that, and not every restaurant's like that,
Yeah.
it's not like that every day. The restaurants where a chef would come in, it's like, they were like, and I won't even say it, but there's one in Calgary. He wouldn't even allow me to come see him without I have a suit on. But
I know who you're talking about.
you do know. But I couldn't go see him unless I had a suit. And I'm like, really? Like, you're not like that. So that is going to apply into the way he trains his staff or he leads in his organization. And that stuff is done. I'm sorry, but that's done. And now you add in women into that mix, the industry. That is not like, I can see how it is so hard for a young woman to say, I'm going to go work in a restaurant. I want to be a chef, or I want to be an owner. And to think about the people that are still have that old mindset. It's enough. No more. We're done. Like, you got to leave it at the door. It's no more. The success right now in restaurants that is shifting. I meet some amazing innovative companies now. And the ones, I met another one this week here in Winnipeg. And the way they're thinking, the way they're changing things, watch out. These old boys and the old way of thinking, you're done. Right? Yeah.
I remember that now because it was from that that meeting is when, because we did a lot of fresh we did fresh squeezed orange juice every single day, so we had all those oranges, and it was from that meeting that we decided to like sugar brine those oranges and then boil them and then make simple orange syrup and then make a house dressing from the syrup. So we saved ourselves thousands of dollars and we made house dressing from that. So I do remember that now.
Yeah,
so because I've always been big on like food waste sustainability, and that's from that meeting. I remember that now.
There we go. So,
yeah,
way back.
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. So first of all, what I would like to do right now, Mel, you got these amazing questions, but I want to ask, because Mel, we have this amazing show this fall. This is our preview. I'm going to be in a hotel room. I want to ask, you, Mel, because you're the one that contacted me. We got to do something, and I'm super excited to do stuff with you and TD. Um, what do you want in a show this fall? What do you want to bring this industry and everyone else that watches, the millions of people that watch our stuff? What do you want to bring to the industry from your perspective on the show?
Well, sometimes I think that for myself, I love to network and make introductions. And Jay and Liana, you both did a great job of that when I interacted with both of you. You've already introduced me to a lot of people. So I have a fairly large network of people that I'm connected to, as well as representing TD Bank. So I think one of the best things we can do in giving back to female entrepreneurs and women in this food industry is by highlighting them and bringing them to the show and interviewing them and talking about their business and what they're doing, or the challenges maybe they're facing that Liana and I just talked about as women in that industry. And so I think a great way of giving back to women across Canada that want to pursue careers in the restaurant industry or the food business or even wholesale food production is by bringing them and giving them the platform to tell their story and talk about what they're doing in the industry. And I think, with us partnering together, this is a great way to give back to women in that community.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to interview a lot of people all across the country. Yeah,
and the U.S. too. I think we have there's lots of amazing powerhouse women, in our industry. And the amazing thing about hospitality is that it's very well connected, and industry supports industry, and that's the most incredible thing. You'll always find that.
You saw that yesterday at the show here, Liana.
Mm-hmm.
Saw how much people were supporting each other getting out again.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Let's say COVID allows us to do a reset, right? And I think that was Matt Rolfe told me that. You're allowed to do a reset now. So we reset.
I needed a reset.
Yeah, we all need a reset.
Yeah.
But we have ability now to reset the way things are. Come out. The industry is going to just keep creating good content like this and allowing people to rethink the way that they're working their restaurants, they're in the chefs. And we're going to highlight all these cool people across, these cool women that are changing the industry for better. Because it'll make it way better, trust me.
Yeah. And also it gives them an opportunity to, sometimes there's all these things that were inside. So it gives them an opportunity to express, oh my God, I've been wanting to talk about this for so long. And now I have this amazing platform to talk about it and share.
So cool. So cool. Well, is there anything else, Mel, you want to say before we go?
No, I'm just really excited, and I'm so proud to be able to, even work with both of you. I'm really excited to be able to support both of your initiatives as well. And I think we have such an amazing opportunity when we talk about, we have an opportunity to take our generation of experience and transfer that knowledge and experience onto the next generation of female entrepreneurs and women in Liana's industry. So I'm just really excited, and I'm looking forward to the new season in September.
Me too.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blast. So for everyone else, we'll be back this season. We're wrapping up June, but we're gonna be back, right? And we're gonna bring content like this. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But yeah, so thanks again for both of you jumping on today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our preview pre-show. It's all right. I don't know the TV lingo yet. We'll get there. But anyone else?
We're good. I'm excited.
We're back again tomorrow with Craft, and then Friday, Influencer Friday, plant-based pasta. Chef Liana.
I love it.
Yeah.
I know it's coming out on Friday, so we're gonna do a product review on Friday, and then I'm in Saskatoon next week doing live shows. I think I'm going to like a buffalo ranch.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
I know, in the field. Should be kind of interesting. You not want to miss that one. Anyways, but thanks again, everyone else. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll chat later. Thanks so much.
Take care.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.